Welcome to round you to today's Sabassembler's Collector's Roar episode 9. And here today we are about to talk about the new XM Studios Magneto Dawn of X. And I know it's been a while since our last discussion, and simply the reason is I was on vacation in Ethiopia, visiting family and so on. Well, we had a great time, really enjoyed that, but we gotta, after coming back, we gotta come back to regular life. And here I'm back for you guys making this new debate. Unfortunately, it seems like my guests are running a little late, and we can't have a discussion or debate without at least another person. But I hope that will change as we proceed on. So I'll just try to introduce the whole video tonight by myself for the moment. And I just want to say thanks again for all my fellow sub-assemblers and fellow collectors for your support. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget the like button and definitely don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for that. And as I said, today we're here talking about the new Magneto Dawn of X. And sorry again for the for the delay, but let's just continue. And here we have the new Magneto from XM Studios. And I'll just say honestly, when I saw the first pictures, I thought, wow, this actually looks pretty awesome. And this is actually XM's third Magneto, if you count the Legendary Beast Studio statue too, be the fourth one. And honestly, I was considering to get the Legendary Beast statue, and when I saw this, I was actually considering to stay with to cancel the PO and get this one. But let's just take a first look at these pictures. And this is from the website of XM Studios.
You.
Yo,
What's going
nice
on?
you could make it.
I'm sorry, I had a Patreon member gaming session that I had to do
Okay,
today. So
no problem. Main thing is you could make it.
for sure.
Nice, David.
How's
Okay.
everything?
Oh, everything's great. I hope with you too.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Shout out to my boy Sick, who has his war tank.
Oh,
Looks
wow.
incredible. He sent me the pictures in the background. I'm talking about a phenomenal statue. He had a table that seats 6 people, and that statue took up the whole table. It came in
Wow.
3 large boxes. I mean, I know he's over the moon, to pair it also with Hulkbuster. So I think I know he's having a great time right now. You know those days that you get where you're just staring at your statue at least
Yeah,
for the whole day.
we all know that. We definitely know that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
going to tell my wife to be quiet. Hold on.
Okay. No problem, bro. Okay, we have Trey Smith in the house. Thanks for joining in. We got Late Night Trip. Thanks for joining in. What's up? And we got Bernard. Good evening. Nice to have you in the house. And Dennis. Wow, nice you could make it in, Dennis. And God, his arms look bigger than his body, but okay.
Yeah, he looks like Jim Lee inspired. Small head, big upper body, big arms, small legs. So he looks Jim Lee inspired. To be honest
Yeah,
with you,
just coming back to the war thing, man. I got that on PO too,
you
and
do.
I do, I did, and
Congratulations.
I heard it's gonna be shipping soon, and
Oh, good.
honestly, I don't have space for that thing, but
Mm-mm.
I just since I have the Hulkbuster, it was a must have for me.
Well, see, I sold my Hulkbuster to him because
Okay,
when you start looking at your collection, you start whittling stuff down. Hulkbuster's still a secondary character, right, to the Hulk, and I got the Maestro coming. So I
oh,
looked at
oh,
you know
Maestro,
who has to go and buy, to be honest with you, you have to go because I think Maestro for me is my end all be all. There's
Okay. For
there's a
real?
couple of statues from Bushy that I really like, and I'm holding my hand because trust me, it was going on. Like, what's going on? Uh, I I I I really trying to hold off because we're trying to buy a bigger house. So what's going on, Dennis? So to that's pretty much what I want to do. Get the bigger house, and then don't harass my wife for space because the box is the problem. Really is the boxes.
Happy wife, happy life, man.
No. Have happy.
Yeah.
I see. I don't subscribe to that. I believe in happy couple because you can't have the man being miserable and the wife happy, and you can't have the wife being miserable and the husband happy. Both of you guys got to have an equal medium. So you
Yeah.
go, you buy a statue. Make sure you go down to Gucci and pick up a bag. Be quiet. Just go pick up a bag and surprise her with a bag. And she says, "Oh, what's this?" You go, "Because I love you." And then, like in 3 months, your statue show up. She's not gonna say anything because she got her back.
Don't try treating yourself, buddy, man. Don't try treating yourself. Yeah.
It's a nice trick.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So, are you in
Yeah.
on this Magneto or what? What's up?
Well, as I said to the others before here, and I was considering to get the what was the legendary piece to the prestige version.
Right,
This one here, and honestly, like the problem with this one for me was this is a third scale statue,
right,
and I actually really like that. I really like this one, and
right.
but since I saw like the new Magneto, I am considering to leave the legendary beast one and go for this one. Honestly,
So, do they have more angles on this one here?
yeah,
Because this is 1/4, right?
this is quarter scale,
Okay.
and we could just go through the pictures first,
Oh, that looks nice.
and I was pretty impressed when they brought this one out,
Okay.
and I think it looks. I mean, what's your opinion on this? That's what we're here to know about.
Well, okay. This is like part two to the original Magneto on throne, right? It looks like he's getting out of his throne and he's walking forward. I have that white one. I have the white
Yeah,
one,
I got that one too,
and I,
and
and I think the white one is using Magneto's powers at its fullest, right? So you have that aspect of it. This one is him on the throne, and I always wanted that statue, the
he's
one
a
with him on
throne.
the throne. Yes,
Yeah,
I've always wanted that statue, but every time I go to get it, it's always priced too far, and then you got to watch out for knockoffs and stuff like that. Um, I want it, and I want it with the coin, right? So if I'm trying to get this statue, it's going to cost me a pretty penny. But I'm cool with that because this is one of those pieces that I think that I need to go with a couple of my throne statues because I have Kingpin, I have Doom on throne, the sideshow original. I have my Zion Art Doom, God Doom on throne, which he says is 1/4, which it's smaller than 1/4. He looks more like 1/6 or 1/5, to be honest with
see.
you.
Actually, my first, I just got my, was it before I went for vacation? I just got my Queen Studios Hulk on Throne, and that's
Okay.
my first throne piece, and I think that thing's insane. It's just,
That's yo.
it's
Did you have somebody help you take yours out the box?
absolutely, of course. I
I
mean,
did.
alone by yourself, it's almost. I mean, it's not impossible, but
I
it's
almost ripped
pretty
my
dangerous.
back out.
It's pretty risky.
Yeah, it definitely is. I almost ripped my back out. Anybody knows me that I got a car accident, suffer with back issues, but I didn't really give a shit. I had super strength that day, and I went down and I grabbed him. I lifted him out of the box because he's one whole piece. That's how they avoid the seams. You can just change the heads. Um, that's my first Queen Studio piece,
For
and
me, it's like a. For me, it's
the
like my
second.
first Queen Studios and my first throne piece.
Okay, so my first throne piece was my Thanos on throne
Okay.
from Sideshow.
Oh yeah,
And
that's another.
it's really one of the best pieces. And then my second one was XM Studios Kingpin. That's a throne piece because he's sitting down on the throne, to be honest with you. and then I just happened to fall into Doom on Throne, and I was chasing the Magneto for a long time. So this new Magneto looks like they looked at the first one. They knew that they couldn't beat that. They said, let's stay away from the thrones because we have the pinnacle of throne pieces. I'm pretty sure that throne piece probably set off the throne piece craze. Bowen had some throne pieces as well, Ultron, Ghost Rider. But this looks like he's standing up and he's using his powers. He's getting out of the throne. The colors seem sort of close to the same. I think this is a perfect companion piece if you have the first one, if you're a Magneto fan, if you are XM Studio fan, because I do think there are better Magnetos in the market. But if you're trying to tell a story, I think this is the perfect statue to tell that story, to be honest with you. And also, if you're new and you're coming in and this guy is like your favorite character, you don't have to worry about mixed media with this XM piece, because it's all cold cast porcelain. And you see the head of the Sentinel, he's ripping through the head. It's a great usage of power, right?
Absolutely.
Without showing you the fake bubble around him. It looks really good. And if you're interested in this piece, I can't wait for you to do an unboxing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, as I said, like I was considering to get the what was it the legendary beast, this one
Right.
first, but after I saw this one, I kind of like started changing my opinion. Like I was kind of considering to cancel this one and go
I would.
for the new. I mean, this one, I'm not saying this one's bad. It looks great. I loved it when I saw it, but something about this one kind of just changed my opinion. I love, as you said, like usage of power, like the way I think
Yeah.
it's the base that really does it for this statue. You have like the head of the sentinel just like ripped apart.
Yep.
Let's
He
go
looks
to
more forceful here,
yeah, you
right?
can see
He looks more imposing. Even though you see the other one looks more like the legendary beast one looks more like Magneto from the video game. When he used to put the shield around him
yeah,
and
I
he
agree
does
with
his
that.
power.
I mean, here I don't like. I mean, the powers look good, but
Right.
I don't connect this kind of powers with Magneto. Really, like
Right.
Magneto's powers are not physical. Like we put it that way. Like you don't see them like a force field or something. Like
Well,
usually,
in the video game, you do.
yeah, in
You
the
see,
video
so,
game.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's why I equate this statue, excuse me, with the video game, opposed to the other statue, which it seems more based in comic book reality, right? There's no need to show the usage of power. Power is just implied by the art of the picture, and that's what it looks like.
yeah,
If I had a choice out of the two, and scale is not an issue, because scale is an issue. Like if you do a lot of 1/3, then I would say this piece. If you do a lot of 1/4 and you want to stay in scale, you have to do the other piece, because if
honestly,
anybody's ever seen it, it looks really weird when you pair 1/3 with 1/4 scale pieces. It like throws it off.
yeah. I mean, personally, I think I'm fine with pairing up third and quarter scale, but
Right.
I think the difference is more when you start comparing like six scale with quarter scales. Like that's when it starts looking kind of
Terrible.
weird.
Yeah.
That's when it starts looking weird. And I think like I mean I have that third scale Deathstroke from Prime One, and
Yeah.
I think it pairs up pretty fine with the rest of my DC collection.
Well, I stayed a hell away from DC. I used to do that, and then I realized, listen, you have a lot of passions, right? You have the Transformers. I'm sorry, you're stuck there,
Yeah,
and whatever comes out, you got to get. And then you have a lot of mutants, but then you also have a lot of Avengers, but then you also have DC. You see, and I was spreading myself throughout all of that stuff too. So all I can say is I lived through you. I say God bless. And when you get them, I'll definitely show up and see them. But yeah, this
you're lucky I don't
new
collect
piece
Star
looks
Wars.
nice.
You're,
Saves me a bunch of money watching you.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, it was nice to hear that. So, yeah, I mean, I think like as I said before, I like the switch outs on this.
Yeah,
I think especially the portraits. I love this like the unmasked portrait in this statue. I mean here you have the classical Magneto look. I
yep.
mean the since I have the white Magneto, I think that's a Grail statue almost for me. It
That's
is.
exactly what I said when I got it. When he's stopping the rocket in the air.
Yeah, that rocket in the air thing. That's the problem with. I mean, it's an awesome thing, but you have to look at it from the right angle.
I, listen, I don't display my statues for anybody else other than myself. So anytime I do look at that statue, I see it from the right angle all the time,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So,
like we were talking about. Like
yeah,
it really,
yeah, yeah.
this really looks like it's floating in the air, and
It's it's a work when you're putting this statue together.
oh, that was a pain in the
Yeah,
ass.
it's a
Okay.
pain. It's a pain in the butt. It definitely is. But this thing, the ingenuity that went into this, it's a work of art. The engineering itself and the thought process into getting him to look like he's floating, because people don't know what you got to do to get him to float, and to have the back have an X and have the it's the switch outs alone is dope. I don't use that unmasked one. I use the one where he's screaming with the mask on. I definitely do not use the bald head dude.
I don't remember seeing Magneto balded at all.
He's probably bald in some.
Somewhere, yes,
Yeah,
but I
some,
mean,
yeah,
it's
but not for
um,
me.
so
Definitely not. That's definitely not. That one right there. And I
yeah,
use it with the stopping.
that's what I used to.
Yeah. I think he had the suit for what was it? Astonishing X-Men. I think it's
Uncanny, not uncanny. Was it X
yeah,
Brother?
that's when he got reverted back to a baby, and then what is it? Xavier raised him or something like that. So they timelines is really weird, but that's when he was a good guy or something for a small period of time, and I just needed to have that piece because I have a Doom on Throne, and that's God ruined Doom when he took the powers of the Beyonders and the Secret Wars, and I always thought that was like the best version of Doom. And I'm going to do this like little setup later because that's not supposed to be down here; it's supposed to be upstairs. And I'm going to have it next to that one. It's just a nice little piece for them, to be there, to have
Yeah.
my villain section.
For me, after I had this white Magneto, I always try to limit myself like to one statue per character.
Mm-hmm.
And but like after I saw this white man, I know this is not the classical look, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like a must-have. That's this white Magneto was just so insane. And after I had this one, I always like thought to myself, I want to have like a Magneto in the classical costume, like XM brought out now. So as I said, like I think I'll be canceling the Legendary Beast one, Magneto, and go for this.
I would say so. Plus, you probably already paid for almost the Legendary Beast one, so
Yeah,
you just put the money on this one, and it'll probably cover it completely.
yeah, and I
That's
might
a
even get
that's a
some.
nice piece.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah. I mean, XM. I mean, you never go wrong with XM, really. But I
No,
think
they
this
keep their value.
XM really did a great job. I think from the pose. What I if I love like this hand like where it shows like you have this eye of the Sentinel.
Yep,
Recently, I didn't see that there's like a flower, like
the
some kind of
flower
flower.
inside growing.
Yeah,
Yeah, from the dead technology.
yeah. I mean, it's
This
nice.
it's a nice metaphor. It shows exactly what Magneto is about. Like he's the Malcolm X of the Marvel universe, and peace by any means necessary. To be honest with you, that's how I've always viewed him. And I think that's how the MCU is going to take the thought process with the character itself. A misunderstood character that wants to be left alone and wants his people to be left alone, but he would use force if necessary, type of thing. And I identify with that character in such a way. It's such a good character.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, it's I think a big thing that play. I mean, a big role. Uh, Something that plays a big role in the statue is the base. I mean, the head like that comes around from the side.
I like the wrap. Do you see the
Yeah,
wrap of him holding the cape? This is
yeah,
so much Jim Lee inspired because
yeah,
if you think about it, right, that is done by Jim Lee's Batman on damn near every splash page. He has Batman grabbing his cape in one hand and showing, like passive force with the other hand. So this is so much Jim Lee inspired. Do either you plan on
Do you either plan to collect Dawn of X Line XM and stay
Dawn
kind of
of
on
X Line?
that? Honestly, I don't actually know what the Dawn of X is, but
When they show them, if the characters fit. See, I just started getting back to my X-Men, right? And I want to get the Nightcrawler.
yeah,
I was debating about getting the Nightcrawler XM or Nightcrawler Sideshow. And see, I'm having a huge problem right now because I'm trying to sell uh, a bunch of my sideshow stuff, just to go and get XM stuff. And people lowball you all day long for sideshow stuff. They oh well, could we cut a deal here or could I save on shipping here? When you're selling XM stuff, them guys be like, okay, this is it, this is the price, this is it, and it just goes that way, right? And that has formed my buying decisions because when I do want to make a pivot, do want to switch over to something else, I need to have the equity and the brand recognition to command the dollar that I'm asking for. So it dictates a lot, edition size, quality of statue, stuff like that dictates a lot. So honestly, I'm going to go with the XM Nightcrawler, and I'm going to collect that line. And when I see the Dawn of X line, I'll probably pick a couple of characters out of there that fits. Because if you can look right now, you can see Sabretooth right over there.
yeah, let's just check that out.
Yeah, I got Sabretooth over there. I got both. I got the Sideshow Sabretooth. I got the XM Studio Sabretooth. And I got Chitara
Okay.
for no reason. So, and if you look at all those three, only one is stay, and the two can go. But yeah, so
Yeah,
but the reason why, and I was doing comparison video to those, XM Studios decided to go with, I thought it was the comic book version. I mean the video game version of Sabretooth with their Sabretooth. And I thought that Sideshow went with the OG classic Sabretooth. So and I was trying to explain to somebody the differences in the video between the two. I still believe that the Sideshow OGs have supreme value because they stuck purely to the comic book art. So I don't know. I'm torn. They stay
I,
together.
I mean, XM always tries to give their statues their own like kind of modern kind of touch to it, I would say.
Yeah.
And I don't, for me, it's not something bad. I mean, I think it's perfectly fine for me. In fact, in many cases, I like the kind of modern kind of
Their
touch.
take on it. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna ask you. Like the boots on Magneto, we've never seen Magneto with one, two, three, four rivets on his boots, like lines going up. We've never seen that, but that's really an XM Studio take.
yeah. And they always try to give this kind of modern mechanical kind of looks like
Yeah,
a
same
few.
thing with the gauntlet.
And yeah, I think I honestly like it, especially if you have or if you already have so many XM studios,
Yeah,
like characters from certain line. I
yeah,
think they pair up really nicely with the rest. Like you were talking about the Nightcrawler, like
yeah,
I think both the Nightcrawler and the Sideshow Nightcrawler and the XM Nightcrawler, they both have their pros and cons. Like
yeah,
I would say, like the Sideshow Nightcrawler, I think you get more than feel of the Nightcrawler, like the classical look. But whereas, and I mean, especially the contrast on the Sideshow's Nightcrawler, I mean, looks great
yep,
with that oomph kind of feel. Whereas on the XM one, I mean, it's not a bad. It looks good, but it kind of doesn't look like the smoke. Like it looks more like kind of jelly or slime, like as in stats.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, as I said, like with the, I think I probably go with the XM version because I think it pairs up better with the rest of my XM X-Men statues.
yeah.
So like yeah, that's it for that. And yeah, like here, if we come back to Magneto, like I really like this unmasked portrait for this Magneto. I
So
honestly,
how would you display him?
um, I always like to display the statues, like with the classical look. But honestly, I think I would display this one without the, I mean, with the unmasked portrait here,
Yeah,
and maybe with this hand. I mean, with this, sorry, with the flower kind of eye inside it. Because like
mm,
this way, that's I think the way I would display it because I think you get a nice feel to it. Like he's just been like in the battle, like you can see from the base, he's been
yeah.
fighting. Like the battle is over, and he's he's just like kind of on his way back home or whatever. Like it's like the battle's over, and he's holding the eye of the Sentinel, and it's like a the flower is the symbol of a new
Hope.
beginning, like hope or
Yeah,
new beginning. And I think I would display it this way. I mean, if the mask portrait, the helmet, I think it's awesome, and you do have the option with him holding it in his hand.
yep.
That's good too, but I think I still prefer the Sentinel Eye switch out.
Makes sense.
And how would you say? How would you display it?
I would go with the helmet uh portrait one. And yeah, let me see the one where he's using his powers in his hand. Not that one. That one I would use the helmet with that arm sticking out right there. Yeah,
Maybe like this
that one.
way.
Just like that.
Okay, okay, I see. I mean, this looks pretty cool too. It looks great,
Very
but
subtle, very
this is.
reaching out, very imposing.
But I mean, as I said, like I still would have to see it in person. Maybe sometimes it looks different. These kind of switch outs look different when you see them in person.
Yeah. You get him in the house and you're like,
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what it is. Like it's just like with the Transformers. Like when I had that Grimlock,
yep.
from the pictures I didn't like the sword switch out for the Grimlock. But when I saw that sword in person, I was in love with it.
Yeah. That's what
And
happens.
yeah,
That's exactly what happens. So did they show the art print for this one or no?
sorry.
Did they
Um,
show the art print for this?
I don't believe so. Like I haven't seen one.
I want to know what is inspired by.
Oh, I guess I mean the artists. Like what did they mention here? Like artists, food say away. Like they haven't shown any art prints yet for this one yet. So
Okay.
not even sure if they have one.
I know it's
So
gonna be killing. Yeah, of course they have art print. They
yeah,
have
of
art print with
course,
everything.
no
So
question.
except for what is it? Star Wars and do they do the
Transformers,
art print for the Transformers?
they don't.
No.
Instead of the art print, you get the nice colorful boxes for the
Yeah, the hell with
Transformers.
that. Hell with that.
Yeah.
And give me a black box and give me an art print.
Do you actually display the art prints?
I'm you kill me. But that whole wall right there, and I'm trying to be nice with my wife because her laundry area is over there.
Okay.
So that whole wall, did the way XM cut the art prints, they're abnormal. So they don't fit in a regular size frame. And a friend of mine, and I lost contact with him on Facebook. So if you freaking watch and hit me up, you put them in that art frame and in that frame, and it fits just right. And it was at IKEA, and they don't sell them anymore. And I want them like they used to have these units that they don't sell the glass doors on them anymore. So I want those frames, and I'm gonna put all my art prints all against that wall. I have something like what is like 50, 60 XM Studio art prints. So
I feel you. I feel you.
yeah, put them all up, man.
Yeah,
See,
that's what I have.
Thor likes the manuals. I mean, and I got a couple of manuals too, but you know, I like the art prints,
Yeah,
art prints and coins.
yeah. I mean, I love like XMs. Like they bring out these plaques. I really like those.
That
I think,
the
I think,
plaques,
I think the plaques. Personally, for me, I prefer those over the coins.
man, are you crazy?
Maybe I am. Maybe I am. But I think visually, because they're bigger, I think they just look pretty awesome. Like, I think
The coins, it takes you back to a time when you were collecting coins, right? And
okay.
these things are minted. I can see why they walked away from them. I know they like a headache to make. I know they're a pain, and then you got to encase them. But every time I'm able to get my hands on a coin, I go full tilt to get this coin. I have a coin for Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, uh, Thanos. Do I? I don't think I have Doom. I believe I have Wolverine and I have Phoenix.
Okay.
But I was trying to get the Hulk coin. Somebody told me they had a lead on it, and it is what it is. But these guys, see the plaques. You can get the plaques on eBay for $50, right? And you know people put their plaques up there for 50 to $80, and you can just get the plaques and put them up there, and they're nice, they're cool. You know, XM didn't have to do that, you know, but people
Oh,
cried so much about the coins, and I'm pretty sure that they lost the minting process and they just went with the plaques. Plaques is pretty dope. Put those up there next to it. I think the plaques say for your needs when you put them in like a Maji case and you put the plaque right there with the light hitting off it just right, I think it's a little bit perfect. The coin for me is a little vintage thing, you know, like vintage
yeah,
comic books. So
I can understand that. I mean, I used to collect coins too. Like there are these Euro coins from
yeah,
history, and there's these collectible coins of that too.
yeah,
And I used to collect, or I still do. Sometimes you get these like when you're paying money, you see the collectible ones,
me too.
and yeah, and I can
That's an
understand.
addiction, man.
Yeah, it is. And like people get surprised sometimes when you see them when you have this handful of coins, and when you actually see like you pick those out just by your watch, by just by looking at it. And
Yeah,
sometimes people ask me like, "How did you see that?" Like,
that's what you're addicted to.
yeah,
Like I used to collect the presidential coins. You don't remember when they came out with the new quarters and they had them all minted? I ordered that. Then I had the presidential coins. Every president face on a coin had that. It's just little things that I started collecting. So when I saw XM had coins, I was like, "What? Are you serious?" And that probably pretty much like pushed me in that direction. And then once I got my first XM box, it's a different experience all the way through.
yeah. Hey H Stance, thanks for joining in.
Hey, what's going on, H Stats?
Yeah.
I gotta tweet this out. I gotta send this to everybody. Send this to my peoples. So you have anything else that we was gonna look at today other than the Magneto?
Uh,
Or
Today was just about the Magneto actually, and we're just trying to compare these. Like, oh, that was the plan at least. Like, since today actually I'm not feeling like too well, so I was considering to kind of keep it short and spicy. So
okay.
yeah, I said like I mean, if you compare like I mean, here we have four Magnetos like from the XM kind of house. Like, which one is your personal favorite?
The
Yeah,
throne.
the throne. Yeah,
The one I don't have. The one I can't get.
short and spicy. Yeah, short and spicy. I like that.
The
And
one that I think he started it all. Like he started all this throne stuff. It was the perfect storm. It's the boots is classic. The chess piece is classic. It's not too much. It's just enough Magneto. The colors is spot on. Any way you want to put it, you want to have him with the cerebral in the hand with the unmasked portrait, and you can have him on in your head. You can have him on Asteroid M. That's how I would, you know, envision it. You know,
I
and
don't like. like on
Go
this
ahead.
one, I like the unmasked portrait. Honestly, I don't see myself displaying the unmasked portrait as you see here, like from the from the throne piece is not my
Yeah.
favorite one.
The
I
jawline.
There's something wrong with the neck. Like it just looks like he's wearing this turtleneck or something. I don't know.
He's stopping bullets, man. He's making sure you don't get shot in the throat with a plastic bullet.
I don't know whatever it is.
He don't let Wolverine slice his throat. This is all and I'm mad at him, my key.
Maybe.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like the art print.
Yeah.
What art print inspires it? Because look how close it is to the art print. That joint looks crazy.
I mean, this was like one of XM's like first like big statues. Like I mean, this
Yep.
is it's like one of their first ones,
And
and
it was
it's
a
still
hit.
yeah,
Absolute
absolutely
hit. To this day.
still till today.
To this day. And Sideshow had the answer with Doom on Throne. Like or I think they had to answer Sideshow. I don't know who swung first, but they both hit where they wanted to hit because those are fantastic statues.
I think Sideshow's next great was big throne piece was the Thanos on throne. Like I almost got that, but at the end I decided to stay away from it.
I got
I
that
don't.
joint. I'm sitting in my house when I get the box, and I did it at the kitchen table. And I call my wife and I'm like, hey, come here. Look at this. And the chair was a statue. Like the chair was a separate statue within itself. And I was like, oh my God, these guys is on a whole nother level. And she was like, this is statues? This is what you're collecting now? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, yeah, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long, man.
It's
I want you
okay.
to heal up.
Yeah, time and so I mean, if you had to rank all these Magnetos up, like what would you go?
Okay.
One we
From
have to throw.
from first to last.
Let's go from last to first. Let's go.
From last to first, Legendary
Yeah.
Beast is last.
Okay.
The newest one is next.
Okay.
That's next. White Magneto, and then Throne.
Throne. Okay. Nice. I'm good. Yeah, I mean, I think I would rank them similarly, like the same way. Um, but I don't know if this. I can understand why you chose the Throne Magneto first, but
I've been
I mean,
chasing it.
sometimes it's difficult to compare the Throne statues with a regular one. I think
It's
because
not.
it's a
You
different.
you gotta have the okay. This is how I rank it, and this is the reason why I ranked it in that manner. If I have X amount of dollars, right? What am I gonna grab first? And
Yeah,
that dictates my ranking system. Because I have X amount of dollars, first thing I'm grabbing is the Magneto on Throne. And then if I have a little bit more money, the next one is going to be the white one. And then the newest one, then Legendary Beast. If I still have enough money, then it'll get purchased. But if it doesn't, it's okay because I got really the two that I actually needed, to be honest with you. And the
yeah,
third one is just completing a story from the first one to me. So that's how I go with my wallet. I go with my gut. And if somebody came up to me right now and had all those statues for the same exact price, I'm walking out the door with the Throne.
yeah. So we got Trey Smith saying here, we got LBS, first LBS,
Uh-huh.
Throne, two Throne, white outfit, and UXM. Like, are you starting from like best to worst, uh, or worst to best? Now that's my question to you, Trey. Like, I think he likes the first. Okay, maybe you can just let us know your
Yeah.
opinion on that, Trey. But okay, that's everyone is best to worst. Okay, so okay for him, the best one, you got the legendary beast. That's cool. And
Yeah,
yeah,
best to worst.
it is a great statue, but I think still, I don't. There's something about this powers. I mean, you can get it. This is the prestige version. The regular one comes without the powers.
Yeah. I think
So,
Jim Mint got it, and it was like broken on in a couple of places.
oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it was Jim Mint's video that I saw. I don't remember offhand, to be honest with you. But when I saw it, it reminded me of the video game Magneto.
I do like this portrait on the LGB one, on the LBS one, and um, but I mean, this one seems, how should I say, a little bit more dynamic. I think the
Yeah,
LBS, because but still, I mean, it is like the pose. It seems like it's leaning forward.
looks more Ron Limish.
Yeah, and these powers too. They, especially the right arm portrait
Yeah,
here, the powers. Like, I still don't. As you said, it might be from video games, but
yeah.
I don't.
When he's
I don't.
throwing those little meteors.
I haven't played the video game. I'll be honest. So, but
Oh,
I don't
you
see.
I'll send
Um,
you a video today.
hey, be my guest. Be my guest. But um, but still, it does look. I mean, it looks great,
Yeah,
and as I said, it gives it this dynamic feel too. And we'll just see. Like, I mean, I think this one of the out of the four is my least favorite one too. But I mean, that's what makes collecting interesting. Everyone has his own opinion or preferences,
yeah.
and sometimes we see things we haven't seen before through other people. And so, yeah, I actually I'm happy. Kind of this XM brought out this new Magneto. Did they actually tease this statue before? Honestly, because I didn't know they were bringing out a new Magneto.
I knew they were.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and
Because
everybody didn't know if it was going to be a throne piece or what. And I was like, I don't think they would tackle a throne piece after having the best throne piece. And I
oh,
always say, why do extra, extra?
look who we have in the house. We got,
What's up, Buck Fangs?
What's up, man?
hey,
Sorry?
nice you could
I'm
still
s-
make it, bro.
I'm so terrible with this because
Yeah,
I changed time zones.
yeah,
I was in Pacific time and now I'm in Central time.
okay.
But you said Eastern time, and so I thought it was gonna be, but I'm 1 hour behind instead of 3 hours. I thought I was on Eastern time, and
In
so I
fact, we were
messed
just,
that up.
you just still made it. Like we were, in
we
fact, we were
just
just,
we
we
just
were,
going to walk out the door.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but still, it's nice you're here, and maybe we'd like to hear your opinion on the new Magneto from XN.
Uh, sure, sweet. Let's blitz through it real quick.
Yeah, let's do it. And I mean, two heads or three heads are better than one. So, so, so what do you think about it, like Bucks? So, do you like it? What was your first
Uh, I've been like out of collecting X Men for a while now. I said no X Men because that's like a rabbit hole I don't want to put myself into.
everything
But
is something I don't know, like it.
yeah, uh, yeah, looking at this overall, it doesn't really speak to me. But the parts I do like, I like the helmeted portrait. I think it looks good. Um, I like some of the machinery on the Sentinel, but the whole
Yeah,
like the composition. Can we go to like a full on picture where we can see everything at once?
Yeah, just all just continue. Oh man, where are we? Oh, there's a better one, like here.
Yeah. So I think looking at this, the overall composition with the way that part of the head is wrapping around behind him, I feel like it's probably too even with the top of his head. Maybe you could like if that wrapped around at a lower level, maybe below his shoulder, and it still had the look of wrapping around, then you get this feeling like everything is swirling around him towards a point, and then the point is his head that everything is coming up to. But now it feels like his head is competing for focus with that piece of metal that's on the same level. Um, I like the way the cape is sculpted, you know, the flow of it and the way he's holding it in his hand. And you get like some nice folds in that as well. But
Well,
as for his pose, there's like kind of like a stiffness in his torso, right? The way he's turning, I've been trying to figure out what it was that wasn't working for me quite well there, and I think it's maybe his spine is too straight. Maybe he needs more like, yeah, like I think he needs more of like an arch in his back. But he's walking and he's got this kind of like RoboCop like stiffness to his body, right? And it's not quite like coming through for me. I think I'd probably drop his shoulder, the shoulder on that's his left shoulder. So the shoulder that's close to the metal bit, I drop that lower a bit, push his chest out some more on the opposite side, and like put a more of an arch in his back, and that would probably make him look less stiff in that. But it's just looking at that torso, it's just kind of like pretty rigid and straight. I'm not seeing enough of a twist in the torso. And one of the things that they really want you to focus on when you're doing a gesture or a pose is the angle of the pelvis and the angle of the rib cage. And on that, it just feels like both are aligned too much, very straight. I'm not seeing his spine bend enough, and it just got that stiff upper body. Otherwise, there's a lot of nice texturing going on here. Um, the machinery at the bottom, mixing with the vegetation, I like the way that is painted. Right?
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of usual buts, criticism, and acknowledgments. And, yeah, I mean, there are things you mentioned like I had to think about, but honestly, like you said, you were talking about the stiffness, but like I can understand what you're saying, but like I think personally, like here he's not. It's not a dynamic pose. Like he's. I think like I tried to describe to King just before. Like I think like here it's you have this pose like where it's like the battle is over, like he's like, destroyed the guy, and he's kind of like on his way back. Like especially if you display with the flower switch out here, it's more like it's the end of the battle, and he's out for like a new beginning. Like that's like how this flower describes it for me. That's my personal interpretation. Like this is not a like if you would display like with this right arm forwards, it might be more of a inside battle
Yeah,
display.
that's the one I'll be going for. But I gotta run, guys. I gotta catch you in a minute.
Okay,
Um,
thanks
let
for
me
joining.
know, no doubt. Let me know again when you're ready to do something. I'll
All
be right there. Try my best as much
right,
as possible.
sure
I gotta
will.
go. Gotta go pick my daughter up from work.
Okay,
Oh,
See you around,
wish you a
King.
nice day.
all right, guys. Catch y'all
Uh,
later.
See
Peace
you
out.
around. Okay, so it's Bucks, and yeah, like as I said, like here, this one is I
He's
think
done with the battle. The battle is over.
this is like I mean this is the closest I would say what's like inside battle kind of pose there's that's possible with the switch outs for this statue because one
Yeah.
is still wearing the helmet and he's not holding anything in his hand like except for his cape here on the right side and he's holding his hand forward like trying to show his power
Yeah.
or to use his
The thing, I'm not even saying like I want it to be dynamic. I appreciate like the pose, like the idea behind the pose. It's more like there's a rigidity to him, right? There should be like some kind of looseness to the muscles, right? But it's just that part in his legs. It's like it looks right, but it's that torso part that feels. I don't know. I I
okay
guess. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's the same stuff I
okay
said before.
yeah okay That's cool, but I think the big thing that plays something that plays a big role in the statue, as I said before, is the base. Like the base is really like with the half of the head like coming around the Magneto is, I think, something that gives the statue the real feel for the surround the scene.
This, this is one you're getting, right?
Um, like I was going to get the Legendary Beast one, but like this one here.
Mm-hmm.
I think after I saw this one here, I think I'll see
You go
get
for this instead.
this one because the Legendary Beast one is a third skill statue,
Mm-hmm. And you collect
and
for it.
I mean I don't I collect third skill too, but I think this one will pair up better with the other with the other X Men I have. I already have the white one here, this one,
Mm-hmm.
and I would I would like to always have a regular like classical Magneto. So I think this new one here is what it's going to be.
Yeah. If you go to the Legendary Beast,
Sure.
you know what's crazy? Um, I hate all the portraits on this statue, but I like the portraits on the Dawn of X one. Right? I think the portraits on this like are kind of ugly, especially the unmasked head. The unmasked head is oh
Let
my
me see.
god.
Maybe we'll just come closer. Are there any like pure, just like here? This you don't like this one here?
Nah.
Like yeah, the mouth looks the same. It's a little exaggerated the expression on the mouth,
Yeah.
but I mean it's still an awesome statue. When I saw it first, I was like, wow, like this looks insane. But
Definitely has like a wow factor in terms of presence.
yeah,
It like it's like boom. But and you're just like if we're comparing and contrasting, right? Between this and the other one, I prefer the head. The like portraits on the other one, right? Then if I was to make like a statue where I'm taking aspects from both,
mhm.
I there's some things I would do. I'd actually split the difference between the posing on the torso on that one and this one, and like find a middle ground between both. Because that one I feel like he's like leaning back way too much, right?
Mhm.
And I just split the difference, and you get like something that looks really nice.
On this one, I really like the unmasked portrait. I'm usually a fan of like mask portraits, or but on this one, I could really see myself using the unmasked one.
Yeah, like that's how I feel. I feel like both portraits on this are good, and
Yeah,
then that one, the Legendary Beast, I don't like any. But if I had to use one, it would be one of the portraits with the helmet.
for the legendary beast one. This
Yeah,
one.
I don't think it would be the one where it's shouting. Probably the one with the gritted teeth.
Okay.
But man, look at that one. This is the head I would.
And there's something wrong with the mouth. I can see what you're saying. And it looks kind of weird, but like I haven't seen like I mean like Magneto's like with these visual powers like
Mhm.
it's just something like I don't connect with Magneto somehow
Yep.
because his powers are usually not like visible. Let me put it that way.
hmm I think this might be inspired by a Jim Lee cover or page from when
I
Jim
don't
Lee
know.
was drawing, and
King
like
mentioned
he's in space.
King mentioned like his powers like they like you see them in the video games, for example.
hmm
He was talking about that, and he said it might be inspired by that. But
Yeah, but even the one I'm talking about, I think you can see the magnetic field around him.
yeah,
The yeah, but it's a pretty detailed piece. It's huge.
certainly.
Which in terms of the capes, which do you prefer between this and the XM one?
Um, I think I'd say they're very similar, but I mean, even the shape, they're kind of similar, aren't they? Like they do have a similar kind of feel to it. But I think I do like the XM one more.
I
Like I
think
mean, they're I mean, as I said, I think they're similar. There isn't like
very similar.
they're not there's not like a black and white difference between those two.
hmm
I
I
like the
think this
fact
this
that
one has more folds in it. The LBS
what I do like about the XM one is like you can see on one hand
is holding the K.
he's holding it in his hand.
hmm You know, one thing I also just noticed is that the one on the XM, the cape is glossier than the cloak in the uh, LBS. The LBS has like more of a matte finish, right? And I think
Really?
I prefer that matte finish than to the glossy look that you have on the.
Yeah. I don't,
But that's something if someone minded that and they wanted to do this, it's very easy. Just get the matte spray. And
yeah. I mean, it's something I could live with. It's probably sometimes like it looks like that, like depending on the inside and the outside of the cape, the paint job is different too on some XM pieces.
yeah,
But the matte finish does, um, I mean, does make a difference too. I mean, it makes more sense for maybe for the cape. I think that was like a really nice comparison. So, how would you like? We have these four magnetos. Like, which one? How would you scale these? Like, you're from your worst to best.
the worst. Let's not say worst to best. Let's
No,
say
your
one.
least
Let's say
favorite.
one. Let's say 1 to 4.
Okay.
Number one would be White Magneto. Number two would be the Magneto on Throne. Then, uh, then LBS. Then the new Dawn of X. But from number 2 to 4, in fact, all of them I don't like them enough to buy. But
No,
if
no,
I
it's
was if I was going to buy anyone, it would just be the White Magneto. The reason why I'm not in love with White Magneto is I don't want the white costume. That's pretty much the only problem. Otherwise, it's an amazing piece. Um, I hate the bald portrait on this, but the
short of the bald one. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't think anyone likes that, or most people dislike it.
and then the Magneto on Throne. I hate both portraits, and it's underscaled.
I think it's
But
understandable.
yeah, it's small. Compared when doing it, I'm like every time people have shown plenty videos next to other pieces, and it just looks smaller. And what's the other thing? Uh, there's some custom portraits for this statue that
Yeah.
make it like it's amazing. There's yeah, someone's trying to sell a version of this right now with the custom portrait. One of the custom portraits I really like. It's I can't remember. It's painted by the the lead painter at HMO.
Okay.
I'm drawing blanks on his name. And then there's another set of portraits by Chung Kinman that look really nice as well.
Yeah,
So with the
cool.
custom switch outside, this elevates this piece a lot.
I see. Interesting. Like I really dislike the unmasked portrait in this one. The masked one is okay for me, but I definitely dislike this one.
Yeah. The thing about this is that it doesn't look so bad in this prototype picture, but the the production is not. It's like just no, I can't. And, yeah, but you know, maybe this with a repaint would look much better, but otherwise, it's not for me.
Okay.
I although on yeah. So in terms of portraits, the one I like the most out of all four would be the Dawn of X.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So yeah, any more other comparisons? Because as I said before, like I was going to short, like kind of cut this video short a little because I wasn't feeling too well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we had nice comparisons, descriptions, and uh, great opinions about the new Magneto on Throne. I mean, not Magneto on Throne, like Magneto from Dawn of X from XM Studios. And as I said before, like I mean, as conclusion, I think it's a great piece, especially for someone who doesn't have a Magneto yet, or for anyone who's looking for I should I say like any classical look Magneto. And I think you certainly can't go wrong with that. And like, how would you see it, Buck?
If you're looking for a classic Magneto, like red and purple suits, and you want to get one, and you want to pay this kind of money and it's quarter scale, I would not recommend this statue. I
Okay.
would actually, you're gonna hate me for this, Sava, but
Oh,
if it, for the same price, I would tell you to buy the sideshow, that the old sideshow maquette, and then
okay.
take the portraits for that and put the money left over that you would have put if you bought this into repainting the portrait and part of the suit, and
Okay.
you would get a better statue, I think.
Okay. Cool. Like, yeah. I mean, everyone's free to his opinion, and that's cool. But I mean, no, I'm not saying you're wrong, bro. Don't. Yeah.
Hey, Saba, I know what that means.
Yeah. That means like that's why we're doing pros and cons. So and
Hey,
that's cool. That's what we're here for. Honestly, like for real.
no. I know that's what we're here for, but I also know what that phrase means.
No. What does it mean? Like, tell me.
I
What
don't
does
know. I don't need to. I don't need to say it. Everybody knows what that means.
Okay. I mean,
It means
well,
it means you're wrong, but I'm
no,
gonna be polite about it.
no, no, for real. Like, no, I'm swearing. Like, I swear. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. There, you
Do you
mentioned a
agree
lot of.
with? Oh wait. Do you agree with
I'm,
me?
I'm not trying to be polite or anything. Trust me, I'm not a shy person. Yeah. Um, I think all I'm saying is like, I mean, this is like statue collecting. It's like a big part of it is a matter of taste.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But
Yeah.
it's like I just said something crazy, and you're like, wow.
No, it's not
You
crazy.
know,
Like,
everyone has some things.
I really like. I just like really no. I mean, you're like taking like a sideshow piece and putting this one together. That was pretty extreme. Like it's a lot of work, and that's the way I saw it, man. But
Yeah,
okay,
no. See that's what you think. No, see, hey, that's. You should have said that. You know.
okay. As I said, I'm not. Today is not my best day. Like I wasn't feeling well. I said that before. Yeah.
Okay.
If
I hear you.
anything came out like the wrong way or so, I apologize.
No, I wasn't offended. No, if
Okay.
it's not about offense. I just thought it was a funny statement because, like, I laugh.
Okay. So before anyone makes any more mistakes, so I guess
Any more mistakes, like saying take the sideshow?
any possible. Like, come on, man. Okay, but I can say from my side, the statue kind of is worthy of the roar of approval from my side. So okay, this exam piece really did it for me. So Bucks and King was here before, and his opinion also counted. So he really liked it, and so we had a 3-2-1 decision. So uh, this Magneto got the approval. So I just want to say thank you for all of you outside there still watching or were watching. Here we got one more comment from Trey. Buck always has great views, points, opinions to help make your own personal judgments,
Thanks, Trey.
and I really appreciate that, and I totally agree, and that's why I enjoy having Buck here in my show. And
I wanted to say something
go ahead.
about what you say. You know, you're like King likes this and Saba likes it. You know that's 2-1, but everyone's entitled to their opinion, though.
Absolutely, like don't get me wrong. I'm not saying for
No,
me
no,
it
no,
was.
no. I'm saying what I'm saying. You know,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
when I say everyone's entitled to their opinion, I'm saying it in the way that I told you that mine has
Man,
a double meaning.
you're trying to make me look like a bad guy here. Like that's
No, I'm just making a joke. I'm not. No. Okay, you
okay.
know what? Instead of using that, I say Saba is wrong and King is wrong about this statue.
Okay. Everyone's free to his opinion. Okay. So as I said, like it was a great show. Thanks for King joining in and everyone else out there. So I wish you all. I'm here in Germany. It's already we got 1 o'clock in the morning. Night. So if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the like button. Definitely don't subscribe. And thanks for my fellow collectors and sub-assemblers out there for your support. Thanks again to King joining in, and better later than never. Thanks a lot, Buck, and really appreciate that. It was a great show, even for the nice, short and spicy time. We had a lot of fun there, I guess. And just all I can say now is God bless you, God bless our statues, and have a nice day. الفيل 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 الفيل